In a kingdom blanketed by snow and icy winds, Princess Ayesha stood at the edge of her castle balcony, gazing out over the frozen landscape. The frost-covered trees glistened under a pale sun, but Ayesha knew that without her intervention, her kingdom would soon be lost to an eternal winter. She was the only one in the land who could wield both fire and ice, a unique gift that came with great responsibility. The kingdom's only hope lay far to the north at the ice cliffs, where the legendary crystal flame awaited her. It was said that the crystal flame had the power to unite the elements of fire and ice, and once in Ayesha's hands, it would bring balance to her magic. But the journey to the ice cliffs was perilous. Fierce storms and enchanted beasts guarded the path, and Ayesha would need every ounce of courage to face them. Draped in a royal cloak that shimmered with both warm hues of red and cold tones of blue, Ayesha set out. Her heart beat with a mixture of anticipation and fear, but her resolve was unwavering. Along her journey, Ayesha encountered chilling winds that tested her strength, and in the forests she faced icy creatures. Frost wolves with eyes like shards of glass, snow leopards whose roars echoed through the trees. With her dual magic, Ayesha conjured swirling snowstorms to freeze her enemies and sent sparks of flame to melt obstacles in her path. On the third day, as she reached the fiery edge of the flamewood forest, she met a creature of legend, a firebird. Its feathers glowed with radiant warmth, casting light even against the pale winter sky. At first, the firebird watched her cautiously, but as she extended her hand, a spark of understanding seemed to pass between them. "Will you come with me?" Ayesha asked gently. The firebird let out a musical trill, signaling its agreement. Together, they continued the journey, the firebird lighting the way during dark nights and protecting her from the freezing cold. At last, Ayesha and her companion reached the ice cliffs, where the crystal flame was said to be hidden deep within. But the cliffs were treacherous, with narrow paths and towering ice spires that threatened to collapse. As she ventured inside, the temperature dropped, and even her fire magic seemed to struggle against the biting cold. But Ayesha pressed on, drawing strength from her memories of her people and her kingdom. Just when it seemed she could go no further, they found it, a radiant, shimmering flame, frozen yet burning with a mystical blue and orange glow. As she reached out to grasp the crystal flame, a surge of power coursed through her. Fire and ice intertwined within her, harmonizing in perfect balance. The power she felt was overwhelming, but it filled her with a sense of purpose and unity. With the crystal flame now part of her, Ayesha returned to her kingdom, the Firebird by her side. She raised her hands, and from her palms waves of warmth melted the frost from the trees, while gentle snowflakes fell, softening the frozen ground. The kingdom came back to life, and winter finally began to yield to spring. The people hailed her as the Snowfire Princess, their savior and their queen. And Ayesha, who had once been uncertain of her powers, had discovered a courage that burned as brightly as the flame she had brought back to her land.